All right, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Alex here. This way. All right, so in this video, we're gonna talk about what was my craziest deal ever. One of my craziest deals ever was with this awesome young lady. I'm not gonna say her name, so we're gonna call her Lisa. So Lisa, awesome lady. Lisa was a referral to me from one of my past clients. Lisa was amazing. She was probably in her late 20s, I believe. She was one of those buyers that's just the awesome ideal buyer, right? They know what they want, they know their price point, they know their budget, they're pulling the trigger, right? There's no hesitation, they're pulling the trigger. They know what they want, and when they see it, they submit an offer. And that's what we real estate agents love to see. Anyway, so me and her looked at 2 condos. That's it. We looked at 2 condos. And we saw one, she didn't really like it. She didn't think the condo fee made sense. Second one we saw, it was beautiful. So she saw it, she said she loved it. Ooh. Okay, so she saw it, she said she loved it. Immediately, you know, I started asking the agent questions the minute my client says she likes it. I'm asking simple questions, you know, what's the HOA fee? Does she know if any other, there were 4 other units. So, does she know the HOA fee? Does she know if any other units are reserved? You know, some of the basic questions you ask when you're going to buy a condo. And then I asked her, are we in unit 1? Because she really likes this unit. So they had an open house for all 4 units. And, you know, we just asked, hey, is this unit 1? She said, yes, it is. Okay, awesome. What's the condo fee? It's this much. What's this? What's that? Long story short, well, not long story short, but we ended up leaving. She said she liked it. The parking was kind of tough, but besides that, she loved it. Went back, submitted an offer, and it got accepted. Great news, right? We were excited. She got the offer accepted. We did have a home inspection. Everything went pretty damn great with the home inspection. So once we had the home inspection, we did everything, purchase and sale, gave the deposits. It was awesome. Then we had a million delays. So what ended up happening was the the city went through to give sign-offs on the building, and they noticed that there were safety issues in the basement. The city made them put up cement blocks along every single wall. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know they said it was something about fire safety. And if they didn't do this, then they couldn't get the final sign off. And that was a problem for everybody. You know, it's been months at this point. Everybody just wants to close. My buyer's flustered. And it's just kind of, you know, a shit show. So, you know, throughout the whole thing, I'm letting her know, you know, this is good because, you know, you got a safe building. You know, that definitely made her feel good, and I give her immense credit. She was the most patient person ever. She was generous. She never lashed out on me. She just stayed the course, and I will always give her massive credit for that. But, you know, so we end up finding out that there's delays and all this stuff. So we ended up asking the agent, like, look, we understand there's delays. She wants to know, because her lease is ending, if she's gonna stay at a friend's house, if she could move her stuff in. So, you know, naturally, the guy was a little hesitant. And the reason that's not good, or not that it's not good, the reason some people are afraid of that is because if her stuff gets stolen, it could potentially be on the seller. So we have to keep in mind that if we are in fact going to move her stuff in, the seller is probably gonna make us sign something that says we are not liable if anything happened to her stuff. And that's important because obviously, you know, if I am representing a seller, I want to make sure somebody signs that, because if a buyer wants to keep their stuff in before the closing, we are not going to be responsible for their stuff getting stolen. No. Let me go get my coffee and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So, all right, so let me take this fucking jacket off. God damn it. Take off this damn jacket. But as I was saying, if I am representing a seller in a transaction like this, I also want to get something signed from the buyer side that says, you know, we're not held liable for anything that could potentially happen to their stuff. And so my client was fine with that. She just wanted to get her stuff out the way. Mind you, it's already been 2 months since we said we were gonna close, right? 2 months. It's been 2 months. My client is fed the F up. What we end up asking is if we can move our stuff in. My client gets a moving truck, gets her stuff in the moving truck. I think it's a Thursday at this point. She drives it over there. She puts her stuff in the unit. She leaves. She's staying at her friend's house. This is a Thursday. I get a call on Monday from, we're gonna call this lady Pam. Pam was the, I guess, the assistant for the seller's agent. And Pam, we don't like Pam. Pam's not cool. Pam's not nice. Pam is kind of annoying. Pam calls me on Monday, and Pam says to me that my client moved her stuff into the wrong unit. So at this point, I tell Pam to give me a second. I call my client, tell my client, hey, she said that you had put your stuff in the wrong unit. Is this true? You know, they all look the same, so maybe there was a mix-up. She says, no, I put it in the right unit, unit 1, the unit that we saw at the open house. Say, okay, I believe you. Call back Pam. We don't like Pam. Pam says, no, you put it in the wrong unit. You guys are buying unit 1. Turns out the unit that we saw at the open house, mind you, Pam is the one that was at the open house. She was running the open house. She is the one that I asked if we were in unit 1. Turns out my client was buying another unit. Pam told us the wrong unit number at the open house. When I asked Pam at the open house if we were standing in unit 1, and she said yes, we were actually in unit 2. So my client put in an offer on a unit next door. So the entire time she was buying the wrong condo. A condo that she had never even seen. So after 2 months of delays, oh no, hold on, I missed a complete different part. So what ended up happening is on that Thursday, she moved her stuff there. She went all the way there in a truck. When she gets there, Pam calls me and goes,
Alex, I just spoke with the seller and he said that your buyer cannot move her stuff in.
I said, what do you mean she can't move her stuff in? She's already there. Pam tells me that the seller is not okay with it. And I said, well, they were okay with it the other day. Or did you even ask? And she says to me,
no. We just said it was okay, but we never asked the seller if it was okay. And we just asked them now to make sure, and they said no.
So I had to ask my buyer to drive the moving truck all the way. Oh shit. So I had to ask my buyer to drive the moving truck that she just drove. Mind you, she bought this condo in a town that was 40 minutes away. 40 minutes away. So I had to tell her, hey, you gotta get your moving truck and you gotta drive it all the way back over here. You could imagine there was some yelling and she was pissed off. And she had some moving guys with her. So she was just off. She politely told me that she's pissed off and she's gonna have to call me later. So, you know, I let her go. I let her handle it. But I said to Pam, Pam, that's just completely irresponsible. She already drove there, wasted gas, she's with moving guys, and the moving company doesn't know what they're gonna do because they need their truck. So, you know, that's very irresponsible. And I kind of, you know, I went off on Pam. And then we had asked if it was okay if we move our stuff in, or sorry, our stuff, like it's my stuff. She could move her stuff in on Sunday, and the seller said that was okay. Sunday she moved her stuff in. Pam, oh lovely Pam, calls me on Monday and says,
hey Alex, we have a problem.
At this point I'm like, here we go. Here we freaking go. Pam says that my client moved her stuff into the wrong unit. Tell Pam, give me 1 second. I call my client, I say, hey, they're saying you moved your stuff into the wrong unit. Is this true? My client says, no, I'm not a freaking idiot. Why would I move myself into the wrong unit? At this point she's fed up with them. I tell her I believe her, tell her to give me a minute. I give her a call back. I call Pam again. Say, Pam, my client's pretty adamant she moved her stuff into the right unit. She says,
no, Alex, you don't understand. We saw it. She moved her stuff into the wrong unit.
I say, she moved her stuff in unit 1. The one she bought. The one that we saw at the open house. And Pam goes, mind you, Pam was the one that was running the open house. Pam goes,
no, the one that you saw at the open house was unit 2.
My client was buying the wrong unit the entire time. She was buying the wrong unit. She was buying, they had an open house for all 4 units. She only saw unit 2. She was buying a condo that she's never seen before. So you could imagine me as her real estate agent getting ready to call her back to let her know that she's buying the wrong unit. And so I said to Pam, Pam, you remember at the open house, I asked you what unit we were in, and you said
unit 1.
So my client thought that was unit 1. We submitted our offer for unit 1. So I'm not understanding how you're telling me that she's buying unit 2. I mean, that she's that she is buying another unit that she's never seen before. How does that even make any sense? And Pam says,
oh, Alex, I don't know what to tell you, but she has to get her stuff in the other unit because the buyers for that unit already saw her stuff in there and they're not happy.
I end up having to call my client and I let her know,
hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's no way to say this, but you are buying the wrong unit.
and it was just silence. It was just silence for like a solid 30 seconds, longest 30 seconds of my life. And she says, what? And I was just like,
Yeah, they just told me that you are buying the wrong unit, and we are actually buying the unit that's next to that one, and the one we saw was unit 2.
and thankfully, and this saved me, she says, how? We literally asked them at the open house. I remember you asking, this is unit 1, right? You asked like 3 times and they said yes. And so that saved me. It did, that saved me. Because I asked on purpose because I knew, you know, they all looked alike and it could be easy to get confused. So I asked for a reason. And luckily my client remembered that. But that doesn't mean she was any happier. So it turned into this whole thing. What we ended up doing, I ended up just telling my client, what we'll do is we will renegotiate the price. Take a step back. We're gonna go see the unit that you haven't seen. If you like it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna renegotiate the price because of their mess up. This is like a $250,000 condo. It's always the smaller price deals that just sometimes can cause the biggest headaches. You have $1 million deal and that thing will go so smooth, it's ridiculous. You get a $200,000 condo and there's so many more mix up than you can imagine. And we closed. We closed on the deal. We did it. She got some money off, we closed. And although it was hectic, you know, we were able to figure it out. She was happy, I was semi-happy. But yeah, that was by far, so far in my career, one of the absolutely craziest deals that I've ever had to do.